Welcome back, everyone, to part 5 of the Honda EX 400 rebuild. Good news, got some parts in today. Figure I'll go over it with you, what I got in the mail. Let's see what this first thing is here. It's probably a side cover gasket. It is. Side cover gasket. That's good. Got that in now. Let's see what's next here. I've got to get the Amazon. Alright. Got some fasteners here. I'm not sure what these were. Let's take a look. I don't really remember what these are. Oh, I know what these are. These are the plastic pins that hold the plastics on the bike. It's missing all of them. So I bought, I think, 50 count. Probably 25 in each one, I'm going to assume. Check here. Unless I ordered it twice by accident. Yeah, looks like I might have ordered this twice by accident. So, I got plenty of pins to put the plastic back. Alright. That's good. Put it over there. Out of the way. Next up. These look like the pots I ordered from Potzilla. Let's see what those are. Alright, this first one here is this is the seal that goes from the head pipe to the muffler, spark arrestor, whatever you want to call it. Bike was missing it, so I ordered that. I ordered new, 4 of them. 3, 6, 7, 8. Well, I ordered 8 of these. Didn't need to, again. I hit the double button on it. No worries, they were cheap enough. Now I'll have some extras that I can put in inventory, I guess. So these are the studs for the exhaust pipe for the head. These here, there were a couple of, these 2 bolts right here are for the timing chain tensioner. The 2 bolts are rounded off on the top, so I'm going to replace those. These here are the pins, the plastic pins that hold the taillight on. I don't currently have the taillight, but I plan on purchasing it and putting it on eventually. Trash. There's another one of those exhaust studs. These are the rubber grommets. See it, for holding the taillight on as well. On the side. And the head was missing a washer, one of the thick steel washers. I don't know why I was missing. Somebody obviously was in there before me and lost it and didn't put it back on. So that is the replacement for that. All right. Now, for the big one. You guys can see what that says, right? Let's take a look and see what we got in this box. What it looks like. Alright, so this is a match set. I'm pretty sure they machined the journals together. This is a brand new head. I'm sorry. Valve cover. As you can see here, these journals are in perfect shape. Nice, stoked about that. Good looking pot. Let's take a look at the head. Here's the head. Now, it's one good looking piece. They already installed the valve guides, which are nice, so I don't have to deal with that. Basically, it's just assembly. It's a pretty good looking pot. Alright, pretty stoked. So, some of the things I'm still waiting on is I'm still waiting on the timing chain. I'm waiting on the camshaft. I'm waiting on the timing chain guides. And I think that's it for engine parts. Oh, and the bearings, the camshaft bearings. I'm waiting on those as well. What do you guys want to do? Let's do some assembly. Let me cut it off here for a second and clean up some of these parts. All right. Here's the head. Let's work on, as you can see here, the journals. Man, those things are in rough shape. I don't think I've ever seen them that bad. You can actually see the step right there. I mean, it's pretty bad. All right. Let's start stripping these down. Start by pulling these pins here. I can't get that removed. Those don't want to come out. So I'll have to figure that, deal with those later. Let's pull this one. Might have to buy new ones. Let's pull these. There's no studs in there. I already took those. Those are not in there anyway. Alright. Well, let's remove the valves. So what I want to do first is I want to make sure that if these valves are good, they go back in the same hole. It's really not going to matter, I don't think, because of the new head, but I kind of want to stay consistent and put them back where they came from. So just going to draw a little thing on here. I'm going to say intake and EX for exhaust, and this is valve. 2 intakes and 2 exhausts. And that way we can put them back where they went. I'll show you real quick what I did. That's pretty much it. Alright. Let me go grab my spring compressor. Alright, I got my spring compressor. It's more for cars. I'm going to use it for this. I know it's not the right tool for the job. They have a specific one for these, but it'll work. So I'm using what I have. I'm going to put a rag underneath the valves so they stay up tight into the valve seat. I don't have to worry about it dropping down. And I'll have to hold these because they tend to want to pop off. Let's see if I can pull those keepers. There's one. And there's two. And then she popped off. But again, it's not the right tool for the job, but it did work. And so let's pull the valve spring off. And there's a couple of them. Inside spring and outside spring. And it doesn't look bad. There is a washer here. Try to get that up. Maybe there isn't. Part of the guide. Okay, let's slide the valve out and see what that looks like. Alright, so the valve seat itself didn't look that bad. You can see it there. It didn't really look that bad. Good contact all the way around. Actually looks really good. Let's see what the valve itself looks like. It looks like it's been making good contact as well. So I think these valves are alright. Well, this one is anyway. I don't think that's a burn right there. Well, they look pretty good. Alright, let's put that there. Valve number one. Let's move on to the second intake valve. Same deal. Put the rag under here. It'll keep the valve from falling down from the spring compressor. See. Let's see if I can get that out of there. Nope. Didn't go far enough down in the spring. Set that up again. One. Keep number two. Valve springs. Keepers. And let's pull the valve out. This one here is a little bit, got a little carbon buildup on it, but it looks like it's been seating good. And I'll clean those up in a wire wheel. See what we got. All right, next one. So these ones here are pretty hidden. But this valve, spring compressor, is long on one side and short on the other, so we should be okay. I put the long side over here. We should be good. And we have to come up just one on that. One on that. And hopefully we can get this guy out. This one's going to be a bit tricky. I'm going to have to hold this one pretty good. Pretty good to get this one out. And my hands are getting greasy and oily, and the whole situation is just not quick. Alright, I can just keep this. There's one. Come on. You want to come out. Well, that got it out for me. Okay. Springs look alright. Let's see. Which side is that one? It's over here. Just pull that valve. This one, see what it looks like. Alright, let me put my hands up a second here. Give you guys a better look at this one. Alright, so this seat here, again, looks pretty good. I mean, that looks really good. So these valves were sealing. They were sealing really good. You can see that the problem with this engine was rings and valve seals, because the valves themselves were sealing. That looks pretty good. The stem looks good. Everything looks good. This has a date with the wire wheel, and then I think it'll be good to go. Alright, let's pull the last one. Same deal on this side. Huh, both keepers came out at the same time. How about that? Alright. Valve spring. Get that where it's supposed to be. Keepers. And the reason why I want to keep the keepers with the valve is because they're already worn into that valve stem, and I want to make sure I keep them together to avoid any chance that they may work themselves out while the motor's running. They were pretty much mated or a match set. so I want to leave them that way. Alright, let's get a look at this valve. And this one here is pretty cruddy looking. I think it'll be alright. There's a lot of carbon on that. I mean, look at that. Just flaked right off. See that? That's a lot of carbon. A lot of oil buildup. We'll clean these up. Again, the stem feels really good. Sorry, had someone stop by to borrow something. Where was I? Oh yeah, the valve. You can see this one's pretty cruddy. It'll clean up though. You can see right there. It'll clean up. So we'll put that back over there. The valve seats on the head look really good. So I think that I shouldn't have any problem at all. Very minimal. Might not even need to lap the valves into the new head. We'll see. One thing I did want to show you before I leave the dismantling part of this is I want to show you guys the valve seal. So this valve seal right here, as you can see, still looks pretty good, and that's on the exhaust side. The one that I felt was still in good shape. The other one I want to show you is the valve seal that was on the other side, and as you can see, this one is not in good shape. So my suspicions were correct that not only did this motor need rings, but it needed valve seals, and you can see that it's just not in good shape. The other valve seals seem pretty good. Anyway, just wanted to show you guys that. I'm going to cut it off here and do some wire wheeling, and then I'll turn you back on when I'm going to do some assembly. Alright, I got that new head out, as you can see. The valves are all cleaned up. I wire wheeled them. They look pretty good. I think they'll be alright. What I'm going to do right now is just check how they're seating to make sure that if I need to lap them, I do. I'll go over that with you real quick. This is how I wire wheeled them. I mean, this is just a cheap drill press. I got it off Facebook Marketplace for 25 bucks. I got it so cheap because the chuck was bad on it. I replaced the chuck with one of these keyless chucks, and it works fine. As you can see, I'm not spinning that very fast. I took my time. It's a brass wire wheel, so not to score up the valve stems or the seats or anything. The brass brush doesn't do any damage at all. Alright, let's see what we got going on here. So I'm going to take a match marker, and the valve that I'm going to do first is this one right here. So I'm going to take the marker and I'm going to go around the outer edge of this just to put color on it, as you can see. Now you can use Dykem. I don't have any. The Sharpie's fine. Alright. Hello. Okay. Okay. Nice and black. Can't see any silver. Let that dry for a second. Put some on this one as well. Oh, that one's drying. Save a little time. do the intake side first. Alright. That's good. Sure, back in the right spot. Do that first. Alright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the valve, just pop it in the hole. Just like this. Slide it in gently. Slam anything, bring it in, and then up here I'm going to turn it slightly. Forward and backward. Let's take a look at what we got. We got nothing because I put it in the wrong hole. How many of you guys are yelling at me right now? Oh man, there's a joke there somewhere. Alright, let's push this in. Let's try it on the right one now. Again. Alright. As you can see, it's only hitting at the very top. So that's not good. We're gonna have to lap these. And from the looks of it, it's gonna need quite a bit of lapping. Alright, we know that one needs lapping. Let's try the other one. Same situation here. My hand over it. It's just touching at the top. So I'll have to lap that as well. Let me run one of these exhaust valves in there. See what this looks like, see how bad these are off. Alright, let's try this top one right here. See, is that the one for that? No, it's this one. Alright. This one feels like it might be touching all the way around. If you can see it. That one's touching pretty good. But we will lap it. It's not full contact. But it is pretty good. That ain't bad. Let's try this last one. Take a look at it. So again, I got this much money invested in this motor, this much time. Gotta do it right. Make sure we lap these in so they're seating properly. Alright, let's pop this last one in. See how this one looks. And this one is feeling the same. It feels like it's touching all the way around. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's not bad. Not bad at all. Not gonna take much to lap that one in. Alright, intake valves are another story. They're gonna require a lot of lapping. I don't know if you can see it, but it's touching on the top and the bottom. It's not touching on the main angle. So I'll have to lap them in. I'm gonna stop it here. I need to go pick up some lap, and we'll start back up when I'm ready to lap. So while I'm waiting for lapping compound, I figured I'd come in here and I'd remove the pins. And remember, when I disassembled the head, I couldn't pull this one out and I couldn't pull that one out. Of course, that one, this one here, I got out. Let me show you how I did that. Alright? Let me move this back. I reposition. And this is still pretty warm, so I'm trying not to burn my hands. Whew. Rag. Alright. Guys in. See it? Turn it down just a bit more so you can get a better look at it. Alright. So I'm going to take a torch, just a regular Benzomatic, and I'm going to heat up the aluminum. So the whole purpose of this is the properties of aluminum against steel. Aluminum expands and contracts far greater than steel. So by heating the outside of the head, the aluminum will expand, allowing me to pull that steel pin out, because it takes more heat to get the steel pin to the same temperature as the aluminum, but the aluminum will expand far greater, so I'll be able to slide it out. I'll show you. back a little bit. And that's it. That's all you gotta do to get a steel pin out of aluminum when it's stuck. Alright, we're back. Let's finish up this valve install. And I ran to the auto parts store and I picked up some valve grinding compound so we can lap these valve seats in, and show you how I'm going to do that. So we got to be careful not to get this compound all up inside the guides and all that. We only want it on the seat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide the valve in. I know there's a special tool for this. It's got a suction cup, and you kind of go like that with your hands and bring the valve in. But I'm just going to put this little bit of rubber hose. I'm going to push it on the end of the valve stem from the other side, and I'm going to spin it that way. Again, I'm using what I got just to show you guys you don't need to buy all kinds of expensive tools. You can pretty much do this with whatever you have in your garage. So I'm going to put a little bit of compound on here right now. Pull some out. Oh, there we go. And you can see that this stuff here is just putting a little bit on here. Not a ton. I don't want this to go everywhere inside the engine. Alright, you don't need a lot because it doesn't take a lot. So, I don't know if you can see what I got there. Just a little. Let me move this out of the way. Get a towel. Just want to make sure that I don't have any on my hands and I don't have any on the stem. So we're going to pop this in now. Alright, I'm just going to push it in, seat it, put a rubber hose on the back side. This is pretty much it. And you can hear it, it's actually grinding. You want to go back and forth. This is the motion you want to use, back and forth. And then turn it again, back and forth. And you want to do it until you don't hear that real gritty grinding sound. See, it's starting to sound like it's getting a little bit smoother. And this is important. You really need to do it to maintain proper compression. Alright, let's check it. Pull the rubber hose off the back. Slide this out. Oop. I don't know if you can see where we're at. Let's see what there is. The color of it changed. That's the aluminum. That is taking off the head. And I'm going to wipe this all up nice. You can see. Put my hand behind it. It already looks better. Alright, now I'm just going to come in here and wipe this out. And I'm going to throw that towel away. I don't want to keep reusing the same towel because I do not want any of this inside the engine. So I'm going to use fresh towel every time, and not a big deal. So now I'm going to paint, well, not paint, but I'm going to use the marker. I'm going to mark up the valve seat again. I'm going to put it in and turn it and see what kind of contact we have now. Let's see if it's up. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking that we're good at this point, but let's just see. Let's see that. All right, slide it in. Check our contact. You can see it's taken most of, looks to me like it's contacting the whole surface now, all in one shot. You can see that. See how I rubbed it all off consistently. So, I don't know if you can see that. Let me put a little light on it. If you can see in here is where it contacted, right in there. That's the valve seat. And it looks like it's contacting all the way around. The valve itself has smooth contact all the way around. This valve is done. So that's the process on how you lap the valves. I'm not going to video every single one. I'm going to cut you off here. You guys got a pretty good idea. It's going to take a little while to lap all these in, and then I'll come back when I reassemble. The valves are all lapped, the seats are all done. Give you a quick look at them. Get some light on it for you. You can see the seats are sort of a non-shiny color now. They're like a matted color. That's what you want. So all the seats are done. If you look at the valves, you can see that you have that matted look on the valves as well. So they're all ready to go in. Just wanted to give you guys a close-up of that. Let me set the camera up and we'll start installing the valves. Time to assemble. So I hit everything with brake clean. Works good. Gets all the residue off. Gets all the magic marker, whatever's left inside the seat. You want to make sure that you do a good job of getting all that compound out of there, because that stuff will eat the engine alive. You just want to make sure you get it all out. So I'm going to start with this exhaust valve, and it's going on this side right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to install our valve seal, and I'm just going to put a little bit of oil in there, drop or two. This is 10W40. It's what they recommend for this bike, and that's all. Just push it on there. You know, you want to double check and make sure that that ring, that little not ring, but the little show you. This little spring right here, this little spring stays inside the groove and doesn't pop out. Sometimes that can happen. So you just want to take another look around before you move on. Make sure that didn't happen. And we're in good shape. So next, I'm going to take the valve and I'm going to put a couple drops of oil on the stem just so it doesn't go in dry. I'm going to flip it up. I'm going to slide it in the hole to the guide. I'm going to rotate it around a little bit. Then I'm going to pop it through. And it's going to stay because the valve seal is going to keep it up. And you can see the stem is sticking up right now. So what I'm going to do is same as before. I'm going to use a rag, but this rag's kind of dirty, so I'm going to stick it inside the bubble wrap. And I'm going to put the rag underneath, just so the valve doesn't come out while I'm trying to put the spring on. Alright, so now we're going to install the springs. It's the first spring. Again, I cleaned everything up really nice with brake clean. This is the second spring. Cap, nice and clean, no damage there. And I'm going to bring the keepers over. You can see it. Keeper 1, keeper 2, keep it right there. So I'm going to grab my spring compressor and I'm going to compress the spring, install the keepers. I'm going to use a pair of tweezers to put the keeper in. I've used magnets in the past, but they can be kind of a pain because the magnet doesn't want to let go of the keeper when you're ready to let go of it. Where the tweezer, you just let it go and it drops right in. Alright, first one's in. Down just a tiny bit more. Grab that keeper. So again, this really can be tedious because these are so small. And I don't have that one in all the way. Taking out a bit more with the spring. There we go. First one is done. You can see keepers are installed and that isn't going anywhere. Let's do number 2. Do the second exhaust valve. Once again, I'm going to put a little bit of 10W40 inside that valve seal. Make sure that the spring is where it wants to be. That looks good. I'm going to put a little bit of oil on the stem. Move around a little bit. Spread it around. Cast iron. Pop it in. Alright, same as before. I'm going to put this rag under there. Inner spring, outer spring, cap, keeps. Popping these in. First one's in. Oh. Go. We're in. All right. Let's see. That one's installed. So now, repeat the process once again. So by putting the oil on here, it does two things. It allows this seal to pop on there easier, and it also puts a little lubrication on the underside of it for the initial startup. So that's this valve here. Alright. Put a little bit of oil on the stem. In. Now this side will be a little bit easier, simply because there's more room. The other springs were kind of up against the aluminum of the head, where this one is completely out in the open, so this one should be a lot easier. Spin this back out. So I bought this at Harbor Freight, and I probably bought this maybe 6 years ago. I've used it a few times. I rebuilt the heads of a 95 Mustang. I use this to do the valve seals, and it does work on dirt bikes as well, as long as it has big springs. The smaller bikes it won't work on because the springs are too small, but anything 400 and up, springs are pretty big. They're almost the same size as the car, so works okay. and it was pretty cheap, as most Harbor Freight stuff is. Stand these up now so that I'm ready for them. Good looking. Now I tend to like to put it in the back first. Just a lot easier. Because the front one you can actually see a little better when it's up front like that. Yeah, that didn't work. Let's try that again. Funny thing is, I said this would be easier. Shouldn't have said anything. Murphy's Law. Make it down pretty low if I can. Plus we try to get the very bottom of it. Alright, back one's in. Front one's in. Done. Time for the last one. Got oil on the valve seal. Alright, it's good. Valve stem. That one's in. And that one's in. All right. See? That's it. The valves look really good. I cleaned them up. Seating really well. They look nice. There's still some carbon in the middle of these two exhaust valves, but I'm not going to worry about it. It'll be fine. I'm more concerned with how they're seating, and right now they're seating beautiful. So that's it. That's the head all assembled. Keepers are in, valves are in, valves are lapped. What's next? All right, let me cut you guys off, grab some more parts, and we'll put a few more things in this head. All right, I cleaned up a few things, got a few things out of the way. Let's finish up the head. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to install the 4 exhaust manifold screws, and I'm going to put the locating pins in. And that'll be it for now, until I get the rest of the parts. So let's do that now. So the exhaust studs, this is the Honda part number, if anyone's interested. Cheap, bought them brand new. No use screwing around with stuff like this. So I'm gonna put blue Loctite on it. This is removable, but it'll also hold it so it won't vibrate out. So anyways, that's what I'm going to use. And I only have one bolt, so I'm just going to wind it in with the one bolt. I know you usually jam them together, but I can't seem to find another bolt. The bike had, when I got it, had Allen caps holding the exhaust on. So somebody had taken the studs out and put Allen caps in. I don't really want Allen caps. I want a factory, so I'm going to put the studs back in. So the blue Loctite's on there. A little bit of a snug. Turn it a little bit. Make sure it seats properly. There we go. First one's in. Let's do second one. Stand this up a little bit. Blue thread locker. I'll come back when it's done. Alright, head's all done. See, I got the new exhaust studs in. I put the alignment pin in for the valve cover. 2 alignment pins are in for cylinder. And that's pretty much it. This head is complete and ready for install. I think I'll move on to something else. The head's away. I got it all wrapped up, and it's protected. Just waiting for the rest of the top end parts to come in before I can assemble that on the lower, on the cylinder. So while we're at it, I think I'm going to clean up the sealing surface here, get the old gasket off, clean the case up. It's pretty dirty. So we'll just hit this up real quick. I'm just going to use a regular razor blade, and just be careful not to score the gasket surface here. So you can see it's coming off. It's going to take some time. I'll pause the video right here. I'll remove the rest of it and come back when I'm done. I have most of the gasket, actually all the gasket is scraped off now. I'll show you guys a little trick that I use to clean up a gasket surface. So this is a sandstone. You can buy these online. Now they come in different grades, fine, medium, and coarse. This is a fine stone. Let me show you what I'm going to do here. So I take a little bit of oil and put a little bit of oil on here. Then I'm going to take the stone and I'm just going to run it over the edge. This is after I've taken a razor blade to it and cleaned up all the gasket residue. You want to make sure you keep it flat on the face. In order to do that, the stone has to be flat as well. So, something. The flatter the better. So, give you an idea of how nice it'll look when it's done. I didn't spend maybe 10 seconds, 15 seconds on it. And you can see the difference between that and that. That is going to give you a really nice seal, and you don't have to worry about this cover leaking. I'm going to do that after I'm done cleaning it, but I just wanted to show you guys. I'm not going to video it. So what I'm going to do right now is this thing is absolutely filthy. So I'm just going to lay it down and hit it with a little bit of Zep. Let it sit for a minute. And again, it's just Zep cleaner. I got this at Tractor Supply. And I'm going to use hand towels. you guys ever have any questions about any of the tools I'm using, or any of the stones, or any of the cleaners I'm using, and you're trying to find them and you can't find them, let me know in the comment section, and I'll let you guys know where you can get whatever it is that you're having trouble finding. So down here we got paint or something. I'm not sure what that is. A little cleaner and 3M pad. See if we can get that off. Make that look a little better. As you can see, it's taking it off. Now you don't have to do this. I'm doing it because I have it off. I'm cleaning it anyway. And I just want it to look nice. I want the bike to look really nice when it's done. So, I mean, you don't have, like I said, you don't have to do this. Mechanically, it does nothing for the bike, but aesthetically, it makes it look better. So, I'm going to spend some more time on this, cleaning it up, but it already looks better. I'm going to cut you off here now. I'm going to clean this up, and then I'm going to run the stone around the mating surface here. Give it a quick rub down with some brake clean, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's complete. Cover's complete, all cleaned up. Looks a lot better than it did. I got some black paint and I put it inside the Honda. The Honda letters made it look a little better. Not too bad. See the back side, it's all clean. I hit it with brake clean, cleaned it all up nice. You can see the surface is really clean, so it'll be a nice contact with the new gasket against the case. And this piece is all ready to go. All cleaned up, ready to go. Still waiting on a few parts. When those parts come in, we'll start doing more assembly. And I think that's going to be it for this video. Video 5, or part 5. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button, bell notification, share with your friends. If you have any comments, like I said before, if you guys question any, want any questions on any of the tools that I use, where I got them, stuff like that, put it in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer those questions for you. Once again, thanks for watching. See you in the next video.